everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Cooking with Laur. I'm excited. You should be excited too. I thought for our first episode we'd make something amazing and something yummy, full of carbs, because I love carbs, I love bread, I love pasta, and something I've never made before. So today I am trying out a recipe from Avant-Garde Vegan by Gaz Oakley. He's a British vegan chef as far as I know, or vegan food blogger, whatever you want to call it. His recipe looks incredible. I saw the Edgy Veg make his recipe on her channel and it really inspired me. I love lasagna. I love pasta. So I think this is the perfect recipe to start out this cooking series. All right, so I'm gonna be referring to my phone because I have the recipe on my phone. I've already kind of chopped some things up just to make this go as smoothly as possible. So let's start. Things that you are gonna need. You're gonna need some olive oil, a red onion, 3 cloves of garlic, celery, aubergine, which just means an eggplant. We need a courgette, which means zucchini. We're gonna need some vegan mince, chopped tomatoes, tomato puree, some herbs, balsamic vinegar, sea salt, and black pepper. Those are the ingredients for the ragu. The reason that I really enjoy this recipe is because he has like different layers of it and you get to make it in like 2 different parts. So that's the ragu, which is technically just a tomato sauce, tomato meat sauce that's gonna go in our lasagna. And then the cool thing about this recipe is that he is making his lasagna with a bechamel sauce. And we're gonna make that today too. For that you're gonna need half a cup of butter, half a cup of flour, 4 cups of alternative vegan milk, 1 onion, a pinch of nutmeg, sea salt, black pepper, vegan cheese, and nutritional yeast. And then obviously you're gonna need your lasagna pasta. If you wanna make it with just eggplant, you could do that, but I wanted to make it as traditional as possible. Now, I do have a few food allergies and intolerances, so for me to make this recipe work for myself, I had to make it a gluten-free version. So I have gluten-free lasagna pasta, which is, I think it's rice pasta, yep. And then I also got, instead of regular flour, I got gluten-free flour. I am hoping that the recipe still works. Sometimes gluten-free things can change things a little bit, but I think this is gonna be amazing. So let's get started. Okay, to make this go as smoothly as possible and as fast as possible, I'm just gonna put the recipe down below. That way you can know the exact measurements for everything. As you can see, I've chopped up my onion, my garlic, my celery, and I have the vegan mince just in a bowl. I haven't measured it yet. I'm probably not gonna use all of it, but I just put it in a bowl to make it easier for all of us. Now the only 2 things I need to chop up are these 2, so our eggplant and our zucchini. The eggplant, we're gonna cut it in cubes, or so it says. So I'm just gonna take the off. This guy as well, Do you like my knife? It's Laura sized. I'm just gonna cut it down the middle. I already rinsed it, so don't come for me. He says cube, so I'm just gonna try and, to the best of my ability, cube it. The easiest way for me to do that is like this. You could do it smaller, but to be completely honest, I like my tomato meat sauce kind of chunky. I think this is pretty good. This is gonna cook down and it'll just be fine. And this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. Down the middle, down the sides. Be careful with your fingers when you're cutting. As I said, I prefer a chunkier sauce. You do however you like it for your own preference. Okay, so that's our eggplant done. Now we're gonna do our zucchini, and he says to do it cubed as well. So I rinsed my zucchini already. Chop off the ends. I cut it in half because it makes it easier for small hands like me. Cut it down the middle. Cut it down like this. We're basically just, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a pro at cooking. Cube, 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 cube. Cube, 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 cube. Perfect. If anyone wants to get me knives for my birthday, I would really, really appreciate it. So we've chopped up our zucchini and our eggplant, and I think we're ready to get this recipe started. Let's do it. We're ready to assemble our ingredients and start cooking this up. Now the recipe says that we need to infuse the milk for our bechamel sauce first, so that's what we're gonna do. So you're gonna need 4 cups of whatever alternative milk you decide to use. I'm using oat milk because it's my favorite. This is also honestly a really good milk if you're looking for just an oat milk that has like 2 ingredients, oat, water, and oats. Pretty good. 4 cups of this. Oh yeah, definitely gonna need to open up another oat milk. Okay, I've got my other oat milk that I just opened, so this is our 3rd cup here, and 1 more. So it says 4 cups of this, and then we're gonna add the onion. So for the bechamel sauce, the onion has to be peeled and cut into 8s. We're gonna throw that in. This is such a weird thing, like oat milk with red onion, but I'm gonna do a little bit of Italian seasoning. It says 1 teaspoon of sea salt. So I got my sea salt here. I'm using Himalayan salt. Whatever salt you have is fine, I'm sure. As always, I like to follow the recipe, and then if we feel like it needs something else, we can always add to it because we can't take away seasoning. It asks for black peppercorns. Again, I don't have that, so I'm just going to use black pepper. So I'm just going to do that, 1 teaspoon of that. And it says to place the saucepan over a low heat and stir every now and then. So I'm going to turn on my stove. I'm excited to see how this turns out. We're going to start our ragu. So for the ragu, get yourself a big ass pan. This is bigger than my face. Do you like it? Also, can we talk about my pots? Aren't they beautiful? Look at this. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. In a large saucepan over medium heat, we're gonna add the oil. So we're gonna do, it says 2 teaspoons of, or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm not gonna measure my olive oil. I just kind of, seems like that's good enough to me. We're gonna do the onion, the garlic, and the celery. Onion, garlic, celery. My garlic is like finely chopped. It says for onions to be thinly sliced, and then thinly sliced for our celery. So make sure you get all of that garlic. Garlic sticks to everything, but I love garlic, so we don't want to waste it. This is like the base for any tomato sauce. Celery, onion, and garlic. Now it says to add a pinch of salt and sweat it down for 3 to 4 minutes. Pinch of salt works for me. And do a little bit more maybe. Pinch of salt, perfect. Basically, how do you know if this is to the point that we need it to be? Your onions are gonna be caramelized, your celery is gonna be nice and soft, and your garlic is gonna be golden brown. Okay, now we're gonna wait for that to get to the point that it needs to be, and I will show you what that looks like in our next step. Okay, so we've let that sweat out for about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, who cares? We are gonna add our eggplant and zucchini to the mix, so let's do that. This is already smelling so good, and I am so hungry because I have not eaten today. Turn the heat down to low, so we're gonna do a 2. We're gonna add our mixed herbs. So it asks for a heaping tablespoon of mixed herbs. I'm honestly just using Italian seasoning. I think since lasagna is Italian, I think Italian seasoning is my mixed herbs. Perfect! So that's what I did. Perfect. It says turn the heat down lower. What am I saying? It says to turn down the heat and then just place a lid on it and allow it to cook for 4 minutes. So I'm just gonna give that a mix before I do that, so that the herbs can coat all of our beautiful veggies. Now, you know what I don't know is, what about salt? Like, is it gonna tell me, it just says mixed herbs, so I think we're probably gonna add the salt later? Okay, whatever. So I'm just gonna pop the lid on, and I'm gonna turn it to low heat, and that's gonna cook for another like 4 to 5 minutes, and we'll be back when that's happening. Okay, so I've let our ragu veggies cook for a bit. Milk's still on low. Now our next step is to add the vegan mince, or if you don't want to use mince, you could do mushrooms or you could do lentils. That's also an option. We're gonna use, I think he says to use 4 cups of this. I'm not sure how much is in here, so I'm just gonna measure it out and then put it in our pot. So that's 1. I think this is about 4, to be honest, because I think every pack of mince has about 2 cups of it in there. Alright, that's 4 cups. We have a little bit left over, so I'm just going to put that to the side. So I'm mixing the mince in with the veg. I don't know, but vegan mince tends to just clump together, so what I did is I took it out of the packages and just took it apart with my hands. And now I'm going to just do that with a spatula in here. Okay, it says to cook for 2 to 3 minutes, so we're going to let that sit, and then we'll see what the next step is. Can you not? Okay, now I'm hungry. So what should I eat? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Hungry. I'm hungry. I am hungry. Okay, so our veggies and our mince have been cooking for a minute. Now, the next step of the recipe is to deglaze our pan with balsamic vinegar. If you don't know what deglazing a pan means, is basically when you're cooking stuff, sometimes when you're cooking lots of veggies, especially like onion, garlic, they stick to the bottom of the pan. So deglazing the pan is just usually use vinegar, or you could use water as well, and you add it to your pan, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna all the stickiness that's on the pan, it's going to take it away, so all of those flavors can infuse together, and then when you're cleaning your pan, it's going to be a lot easier. So I believe it's 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do 1. Ooh, I hear it. 2, and see, nothing's stuck to the bottom now. It's perfect. The balsamic vinegar also adds a little bit of flavor to all of our stuff that we have here, so it's kind of nice. We're gonna add our chopped tomatoes. Now, in the recipe, he asks for 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. I would say this is about 2 tins or so I'm just gonna add that in. Now, it asks for tomato puree. But I just got what are these called? Strain crushed tomatoes to make it more saucy. So it says to then add your tomato puree and then pop the lid on it and let it cook on low heat for about 15 minutes. So I'm adding my handy dandy strain. I opened it by myself. If you know me, you know that I struggle to open things. Usually I can't open it, or when I open it, I get it all over myself. So this is a win in my book. I'm just gonna add this. Now, a little trick, my immigrant parents don't like wasting food, and I've just grown up that way, so there's still so much goodness in here. What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of water, mix it around, and then that way we get all the product out, and we're not wasting food, because wasting food is not good. We're just going to give it a good shake, 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 shake. Let's see. We got all that good stuff out of it. And I'm just gonna mix this here. I honestly think I might add half of this. Because to me, when we let it simmer, it's gonna get thicker, and it's already quite thick. So, yes, I want our meat sauce to be thick, but I don't want it to be too thick that it's not saucy enough. I think I'm gonna add half of this. I think I am. This is what, every time I follow a recipe, I follow it, but then I just make my own little, what's the word I'm looking for? I just kind of make my own, you know? Oh yeah, this doesn't need to be turned down. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Love having a white backsplash because everything that I cook gets splatter on it, and it's 10 out of 10. Matt always tells me that I'm really messy when I cook, but I personally think that a good cook is messy because that means you're in it, the passion is there. I haven't added salt or pepper, so let me go back. It says to add 2 teaspoons of sea salt, so let's find the teaspoon here. Because I don't know if Like when he said mixed herbs, did he mean salt and pepper too? And then 2 teaspoons of black pepper, so that's what I'm gonna do again. There we go. And I'm gonna start with that. We can always add more seasoning, as I said, rather than take away. I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a mix. The recipe doesn't necessarily call for any other seasoning, but I really like turmeric and paprika, so I think I'm gonna just add a bit of that. I love smoked paprika. It makes all the difference rather than regular paprika. No, thank you. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of turmeric because, again, turmeric is a wonderful, 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 wonderful spice, but it's also like really good for you. It's anti-inflammatory. It's just so good for you. Okay. Now that looks like a meat sauce to me. We're gonna pop the lid and then leave it on low heat, and it says to let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do, and we'll be back. Okay, so we're gonna make our bechamel sauce. We're gonna need 1/2 cup of vegan butter. And it says to put this and then place it on low heat. I'm using a mix of basil and then, what's the other one called? Earth Balance. Whatever vegan butter you have works for you. You're just gonna stir that in, let it melt. While that's melting, I'm going to measure out, you're gonna need 1/2 cup, I think. Okay, so as you can tell, our vegan butter has now melted. Add the flour. We're gonna use 1/2 cup of flour. So this is 1/4 cup, so I'm gonna do one more. That's that. And then it says, using a spatula, mix well. So we're just gonna mix this. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Again, I have it on low heat. Bechamel, when you're looking at butter and flour, it's super easy to burn, so just have it at your lower setting. It's the best way to do it, rather be safe than sorry here. This is perfect. This is what a bechamel should look like. It looks like a paste. This is great. It's my first time making it, so far we're doing good. Now it says, gradually whisk in the infused milk a little at a time. I mean, I make a mess, I already know, but little at a time. We're just gonna whisk that in. And it does look creamy, but we're gonna make it even more creamy after. Don't worry. So, we've added our milk. It honestly doesn't look as creamy as I thought it would. If you wanna make it cheesy, add the vegan cheese and nutritional yeast. I think I'm adding cheese and nutritional yeast to this, because I don't know, I feel like it's not as creamy as it should be. I'm just gonna let that just be for a little bit. So, I wanna make my sauce a little bit creamier and cheesier. I'm gonna add 1 cup of grated vegan cheese. I'm using mozzarella here. I'm sure you could use whatever cheese you would like, but I think mozzarella goes with the Italian dish. It's great. So I'm gonna add the rest of my cheese. I believe is 1 cup of cheese that I added. And to give this a little bit more flavor, I think we're gonna add some nutritional yeast. I'm a big fan of Nooch. Anyone who knows me knows this. I add it on everything. So, 1, 2, that's really gonna give it that cheese flavor that we're looking for here. And I'm just gonna whisk that in. Oh, look at how cheesy that looks. That looks incredible. Also, the nutritional yeast will help the color. I've tasted the ragu, and it honestly needs a little bit more salt. Look how amazing this ragu looks. Doesn't that look incredible? I think so. I'm gonna let this cheese melt, let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll assemble it together. All right, you guys, so I have my oven-safe baking dish. So we're gonna build our lasagna. So the way that he says to do it is he likes to do ragu, then bechamel sauce, then pasta sheets. I'm gonna follow that since we are following the recipe. Ragu. I did put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom because I don't want things to stick. And I feel like this is the best way to do it. Okay, so that's, I think, a good layer of sauce, if you ask me, right? Then we're gonna put bechamel. Oh, you guys, the bechamel, look at this. Tell me that's not amazing. First time making it, 10 out of 10, Laur. Like, I gotta pat myself on the back. Okay. I'm not gonna do, because I wanna have enough cheese for the whole thing. So I'm gonna do a light layer at the bottom, like that. It's not gonna look perfect, but honestly, it's good. That's good enough. Okay, I think for the bottom layer, that's enough bechamel sauce. I want most of it at the top. And then we're gonna do pasta sheets. I'm using gluten-free ones. If you are not gluten intolerant, of course, you can use regular ones. Unfortunately, my body hates me, so this is what I gotta do. Okay, then we're gonna do next layer. Again, ragu. Oh my goodness. I'm so hungry. And this is just making me even more hungry. Okay, that looks like a good layer to me. Then we're gonna do bechamel again. Oh, this is amazing. I feel like I need more bechamel sauce, guys. Okay, we've got bechamel. We could use a little bit more, but again, I don't want to use it all. So no, we're gonna do a layer of pasta again. These pasta sheets are amazing. And they're oven ready, gluten-free. Oh no, it cracked, oh well. And then one more. This recipe was super intimidating, to be completely honest, just because I've never made lasagna from scratch or bechamel sauce from scratch. But after making this, I can honestly say that it's not as intimidating as it looks. If you don't cook often, it might be a little bit more intimidating. I love cooking and I really love food. And I cook quite a bit. This was not intimidating at all. Like, I could make this again. And obviously, the first time making it takes a little bit longer than usual, but oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. Wow. So it says to make sure the top layer is bechamel. So I think this is our last layer. What do you think, guys? I think if I can't do another layer of pasta, so I think our last layer of bechamel is coming. Okay, so we're gonna use all of our bechamel that we have. Honestly, not enough bechamel, should have been more. I think what happened is that my thing is bigger than the one that he used, and I'm almost out of bechamel, so I don't know what to do. I might just use some grated cheese on top. So, as you can see, the bechamel is all gone, and I still have my lasagna to cover. So we're gonna do an improvisation. Is that even a word? I don't know. I have some extra mozzarella cheese. So I think I'm gonna just use the rest of my mozzarella cheese here. Now I'm gonna put this in the oven. It says to bake for 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. If you're using an oven that is Fahrenheit, I believe that's around 355 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna clean my hands, put this in the oven, and we're gonna cook this up. When it's ready, I'll take it out and we'll do a taste test. Okay, so I've taken the lasagna out of the oven. It was in for about 45 minutes or so. I was waiting for some of the cheese to like bubble up and get golden, but then I remember that we're using vegan cheese, that doesn't usually happen. So it looks pretty much ready to me. I'm gonna cut it. I'm trying not to cut too deep because I don't want to cut the actual container, obviously. I'm cutting it into little squares. Now the part that I'm excited about but also dreading is taking this out because I just feel like it's gonna be a mess. Oh, it's saucy. Oh my God, it's a messy lasagna. I like adding all the extra sauce on top like this. Okay. Whew. Oh, look at this. This looks absolutely incredible. Yes, it's a little saucy. I like my lasagna quite saucy. I think for our first time trying this recipe, it looks absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna let it cool down for a few minutes because I think I'm gonna burn my freaking mouth off if I eat it right now, and then we'll do a taste test. Okay, it's that time. We gotta taste this. It looks absolutely, okay, I'm gonna have to get a layer of the pasta, a layer of the bechamel, like everything, and a layer of the ragu. It's a little messier, than I expected. It's a little bit saucier. So there's a few things that I would tweak. Oh, let's see. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Incredible. Incredible. 10 out of 10. This is so good. The bechamel just adds that creaminess of lasagna. And the gluten-free pasta is actually really good. It's al dente, so it's not too cooked, too overcooked. Personally, that's how I like my pasta. And the ragu, incredible. And then when you have a bite of it all of the flavors mixed together, it's I'm so hungry. And this was honestly absolutely incredible. This is amazing. I have no words. It's incredible. What I'm gonna do now is I want to get Matt to do a taste test and see if he likes it, because it might just be me, because I like food and I will eat anything, but I think we need an outsider's opinion. Is it good? Is it good?
Oh my god.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Like I said, there's a few things I would tweak for the next time that I make it, but overall this recipe, avant-garde, 10 out of 10 gas, you killed it. It's honestly like everything I could hope for in a lasagna. And I genuinely think that if I gave this to someone who isn't vegan, they would have no idea that this is a vegan dish. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching me make this freaking lasagna today. It's incredible. I hope that if you want to try this, I'm going to put the link below. You can try it. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm going to be like every YouTuber, ring the notification bell to see when I upload a new video. This is my first episode of Cooking with Laur, and I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. I personally love food and I love eating, and so I hope that with this new series, you will also love making food and eating, and you get to experience vegan cuisine that you probably wouldn't on a daily basis. Peace out. Bye.